So I don't know what was going on with Kimberly this week on 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 days, but she turned up the heat. And it was painful to watch. And that's what I want to talk about today. Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Debbie. I am the She in Sheality TV, and 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 days. This week's episode was particularly painful to watch for a few reasons, but let's start with Kimberly and Usman. Okay, so you know that Kimberly has been nagging Usman to sleep with her. Like, it was cringeworthy before, but this last episode was like, oh God, okay, just stop. It was embarrassing. It was borderline like arrest worthy. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Usman decided that he was gonna file a restraining order against this woman, wouldn't surprise me in the least. So she's nagging him about staying in her room, right? She wants him to stay in her room so that they can get to know each other better, right? And he's soon to find out that these gifts that she's been giving him come with a price. So, not like any of us didn't see that coming, but he first decides that, you know what, no, I'm not gonna stay in your room, I'm gonna stay in my room. And she nags and nags and nags. And he finally decides, okay, well, I'll stay in your room, right? So he comes to her room and she opens the door and she's like, oh, are you staying here? She's pleasantly surprised. He soon regrets making that decision because they get into the bed and immediately he's like, he puts a pillow between them, right? He's like, they need demarcation. It's like, okay, demarcation is his word for don't touch me, right? So there's a pillow between them and she's pissed about that and whatever. He agrees to sleep in the bed with her. Why, I don't know. I think it was his way of getting her to shut the hell up because she would not shut up about why he wouldn't sleep in the bed with her.
Oh, we can get to know each other better. You know, let's have a conversation, let's do whatever.
But yeah, so he puts up the pillow, okay? That's the first thing. He puts up the pillow, and as he puts up the pillow, she starts nagging him about why they can't have, like, why they can't be intimate. Why don't you want to sleep with, why don't you want to have with me? I'm just like, guys, it was so, like, I'm embarrassed for her, right? How she couldn't see that or couldn't feel that this man does not want to sleep with you. I don't care what you give him. She gave him a MacBook and a PS5. That wasn't enough. I don't think there is a gift on the planet that she could give him. She could give him a brand new Mercedes and he still won't sleep with you. She literally is that, okay, so I'm calling her just the tip girl, right? Some of you will understand what I mean by that. When a man says just the tip, she is the female version of just the tip, right? I know I'm sorry, that is like, but she's the female version. She's nagging and nagging and he is getting frustrated, right? He's like, I don't know how many times this man has said no, right? And in how many languages he needs to say it for her to understand that he does not want to sleep with her, right? So he finally says no, he says no, he says no, he says no, and he says, listen, if that's the only way that we're gonna, we can even be together in any incarnation, I don't want to be together with you, so it's fine. So he leaves. But before he leaves, she pulls out another, I don't even know where she got this, but she says that her son is going to be pissed at him because her son is going to wonder about his intentions. What? What the fuck? Like, okay, how is your son going to be pissed because this man doesn't want to sleep with you? Like the logic that she, like, oh my God, it was honest to God. I didn't dislike her before. I kind of felt bad for her. Not felt sorry for her, but felt bad for her. But now I dislike her. I don't like her because she reminds me of just the tip guy. I don't like her. I don't like the manipulation. I don't like the coercion. I don't like how the thirst, the neediness, I don't like it. It's unbecoming, it's unattractive. And while they're in her room, she puts on this lingerie. Now, who cares what kind of body she has? The lingerie, awful. Like, it reminded me of Hello Kitty, but it had a, I don't know, it was just a cotton, I don't know, nighty thing, right? It wasn't cute. Yeah, he's, you know, he opens the robe and he's admiring her, whatever, lingerie, whatever, and she's all, you know, you like this? Ugh. I can't. It was embarrassing, and I wanted to fast forward it, but it was kind of like a car wreck. You're repulsed, but you can't look away. And that's kind of how I felt about Kimberly and Usman last night. I'm just like, no. And I've seen Instagram posts where she says that, you know what, she is embarrassed about her behavior, but it is what it is. And I don't care that she's embarrassed. I still feel like in that moment, did you not feel like, okay, not only am I being really gross and repulsive, and you know, on Twitter I was like, if a man behaved this way towards a woman like Big Pred did with Rose, just trying to get her to sleep with him, and you know, in Kimberly's case, trying to get him to sleep with her, if a man behaved this way, oh my God, like, yank him right out from in front of the camera. Like, social media would be all over him. I'm thinking that social media is all over Kim, because this was worse. Like, Big Pred with Rose was bad. Kim is worse with Usman. I don't care. That's my opinion. She's worse. And, you know, yeah, Big Ed was like, oh, can I have a kiss? Can I have a... Kim is doing the same thing. But she's now saying, oh, well, you know what? My son is not going to be happy about this. You're going to have to deal with my son. What? So, rightfully so, Usman flipped and just said, you know, what does this have to do with your son? This has nothing to do with your son. He flips and he leaves. Thank God. He should have left like 20 minutes earlier, but whatever. So Kim starts talking to one of the camera guys. She's like, is he gone? Like, I don't want him to leave like that. Like, I don't want him to be pissed and leave, but he's gone. So she goes back and she gets him, and he comes back. And I'm thinking, dude, why you would come back? I don't know. I'm feeling like, yeah, he felt like he could get some more camera time, and that's why he came back. Because no man or woman in their right mind would come back into that situation, knowing that she's just gonna, like, put the boots to you again. It just made no sense. But yeah, honestly, it was disgusting. I felt like I needed a shower. It was gross. The way that she just wouldn't stop. And then when she brought her son into it, yeah, I'm sorry, no. I felt bad for her before, like I said. I don't feel bad for her. I dislike her. I feel like there's desperate, and then there's just, there's not even a word for this. There isn't. So yeah, that's all I got for Kim and Usman. Let's move on to Ben and Mahogany, because this dude. Anyway, so at the tail end of last week's episode, Ben was at the airport and he got a text from Mahogany saying, you know, don't come because my dad is suspicious of your intentions. Fine. He decides to go anyway. I'll go anyway, and she'll change her mind or whatever. Okay, so let's say, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and say that Mahogany is real. Let's say Mahogany is real, and she actually did text him and say, don't come here because my dad not happy with this whole thing, right? Why on earth would you go anyway? That's him forcing his own will on her, right? Even though clearly she's, you know what, I'm gonna deal with my dad, blah, 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 whatever. Now, I'm going under the guise that Mahogany is real. She has decided to abide by her father's wishes and not have this man come visit her, right? If she's real. I don't think she's real, but whatever. So Ben gets on the plane, 9+ hours to Peru from where he lives, gets on the plane, 9+ hours, gets to the airport and says, well, I'm just gonna go to the spot where we said we were going to meet, which is at the taxi stand. Him standing around, no Mahogany, and he's surprised. These people are all dumb. Like, How are you surprised? She told you not to come. She's not gonna say, hey, don't come, and then not return any of your texts or phone calls because he's mad texting her and calling her and she's not answering any of them. And he expected her to meet him where they agreed to meet when he landed, before she told him not to come. Jeez. So later in the episode, I mean, he goes to the hotel and he kind of sorts out his thoughts. And then he decides that he's gonna go to her hometown, like where she lives. He's gonna go to the city where she lives. He's gonna pull a David and go to the city where she lives and wander around and look for her, which is what makes me think that she's not real and this is all a production ploy, right? Because his storyline is too close to David's, right? David goes to Lana's city and looks around, asks about her in stores, asks if shows her picture and asks if anyone knows her, and that's exactly what Ben's about to do. So yeah, like I said, I was playing devil's advocate in case she is real. I don't think she's real. I think either she's not real or she doesn't look a damn thing like she does in any of her pictures, because you all know that there's like 4 different pictures of this woman floating around. She's heavily filtered, heavily photoshopped, and in person, like her actual pictures look much younger than the woman in the pictures that he's fallen in love with. But hey man, something to watch, right? Let's move on to Mike and Jimena. So Mike and Jimena, okay, so now again, I used to really dislike Jimena, and I still dislike her because she's an opportunist, plain and simple. But Mike, like, okay, so Mike, sweet guy, clearly has never been in a relationship, but dude, even if you've never been in a relationship, don't you assume that if you're going to be with someone, they're not going to appreciate you burping and farting all over them. They're not going to appreciate, in one scene, Mike is blowing his nose and he goes to put the Kleenex in the back, they're in a car, he goes to put his dirty, snotty, nasty Kleenex in the pocket in the back of the driver's seat. And Jimena tells him, no, dude, you can't do that. That's gross. Have some manners, have some decency. And he's like, well, where am I going to put it? It's like dealing with a fucking 4-year-old. Like, who wants that? Who wants to find out that their online boyfriend he farts and burps and blows his nose and whatever, and he decides to tell her, you know what, I didn't tell you something about myself before, but I have ADHD, it affects my concentration or whatever. But I'm like, does ADHD make you gassy too? Because I know lots of people with ADHD, and this dude is farting like a choo-choo train. I don't know how on earth he's trying to blame all of his, I don't know, strange tendencies. Or, I mean, farting isn't strange, but farting while you're laying on top of someone, kissing them, that's weird, okay? Weird. Would he like it if she did that? If she was farting her brains out whenever she felt like it, whether or not he was in the room, would he like it? If she burped in his mouth while they were kissing, would he like it? Probably not. So she is turned off by his juvenile tendencies, right? So in this episode, Mike takes her kids to the park and he's asking, because he's planning on asking Jimena to marry him, he asks her sons if they want him to be their dad, right? Which I think is an inappropriate question to ask. What the kids are like. One of them looks like he's what, 4, they're 4 and 6 or 4 and 7 or something. Like, no, dude, no. Like, what are you gonna do? If she says, she's not sure, is he gonna say, oh, well, you know what, I asked the boys and they said that they want me to be their dad? Like, inappropriate. Dumb. Like, dumb. Don't put that kind of a burden on the kids. And don't put that kind of a burden on her. I get it, I know, she's a gold digger, she's using him, whatever, but he's using her. Yeah, he's not using her for financial gain, but he's using her, right? I don't know, I feel like, you know, she's not sure, because she's not sure if she wants to marry someone that she has to make so many adjustments for. They agreed that they would, you know, try to work through his idiosyncrasies together. That, you know, he'll try to be a better person. The man also can't cook. He made them like spaghetti with cheese sauce. I don't know what kind of food that is, but the spaghetti wasn't cooked. And yeah, I mean, outside of the fact that He's a kind person. Don't come for me in the comments, because this is just, it is what it is. Outside of the fact that he's a kind person, Mike doesn't have anything else. He has nothing else going for him. Like, yeah, okay, if all you're looking for is kindness in a person, Mike's your guy. But if you're looking for anything else, yeah, he ain't it. I'm sorry, he ain't it. Anyways, that is all I've got for this episode of 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. Again, and as usual, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.